All right, welcome back everyone, and we'll start our next session from Chandigarh chapter on setting your growth curve in the IT industry by Shreya Mahendru. She's a global product operations at Labster. Before starting our session, I would like to thank our founding sponsor, Innovation Roots, which is a leading consulting and training service provider helping organizations to achieve business agility and beyond. It is one of the leaders and pioneers of niche publishing services and well known for content collaboration with global thought leaders, authors, and creators. For more information, visit www.innovationroots.com. I would also like to thank our sponsor Agile, which is a product offering from Tata Consultancy Services Limited. It is a purely cloud-based enterprise agile planning tool along with DevOps capabilities. Enterprise can use Agile to adopt agile practices or scale across multiple Scrum and Kanban teams using enterprise scaling frameworks such as SAFe, Discipline, Agile, Less, and more. You can try out Agile for free up to 20 users for 30 days by signing up at Agile.io or reach out to us for any inquiries or exclusive product demo. Check out the Agile page on Agile Network India website for more information. Here are some do's and don'ts for the participants. I request all the participants to join the event 5 minutes before the start time. Use high quality speakers or headphones for better sound quality. Please keep your microphones muted and videos disabled as this may cause disturbance and bandwidth issue. Questions will be taken via the chat box. I request all the participants to enter the questions in the chat box. At the end of the session, the facilitator or the moderator will help and read out a few questions to the speaker as per the time available. And I request all the participants to fill in the feedback forms after the event to help us understand more about the event management. I appreciate your cooperation. And with this, we'll begin our today's session. And I request Nupur to come on microphone and camera.
Hi,
Over to
Nisha.
you,
Thank you
Nupur.
very much. Yeah, so again, we are back with an interesting topic to discuss, and it's about setting growth curve in IT industry. And I would like to mention, I was reading the Hindu, which mentioned that IT sector has to see 11% growth in revenue. And as per NASSCOM reports, IT industry grew 2.7% in 2020 and 2021, including sectors like e-commerce, business process management, etc. So the industry is growing, but how to set your growth curve in this industry is something that we would like to explore with Shreya. And I would like to call Shreya on the microphone and webcam and begin with the session. I'm sure there are going to be some interesting aspects she's going to highlight. So over to you, Shreya.
Thank you so much, Nupur. Thank you, Nisha. Great to be speaking on this topic because, especially with so many concerns these days that the jobs and the industries shifting so quick. How do we cope up with that? How do we make ourselves ready with it? So that's why I wanted to speak on this particular topic. Of course, hard skills. A number of speakers today and yesterday spoke on it. Really nice to see that we are also growing on Agile, but along with that, also setting your growth curve consciously is something that one must do. That's the topic for today. Great. So a bit on this topic. So again, just like we have seen the trend these days that even if you prepare yourselves and even if you are not doing something consciously to improve your growth curve, still you may not retire with the same job that you started off, in say, 20s. So it's very important that you take good decisions. You also have a control over what you are doing next, over the steps that you take to build a nice growth curve for yourself. And sometimes companies also assist you in your growth, but that's not enough because they will think according to what they need from their employees. It's very important that you also build your own curve which you have a control on. So let's start. A bit about me. Currently, I am a global product operations specialist at Labster. So this is a pretty new role, product operations in the industry. I'm not sure if many people have heard about it, but this role, takes the periphery of product management and project management and helps in the scaling of a certain product. So a very interesting and exciting role that I got into recently. And overall, I have over 6 years of experience in the IT industry. I'm not, a 20 years experienced person, but that's why I think I'm the relevant person to tell you that why it's important to even, even if you are a few years into the industry, you can grow yourselves by leaps and bounds. So yeah. So yes, I have been mostly involved in the product strategy and operations with not only startups but also enterprises. I have worked with some really exciting products also. I've worked with Domino's, their application. I have also worked on their web product. I have worked with a company in Indonesia which handles telecom. So various companies, and currently I'm in Labster. So Labster is a virtual laboratories platform, and it provides education to to businesses like institutes in mostly in Europe and in the US. Now we are expanding to India with mobile app and also with web products. So that's currently what I'm handling. And next, coming to what we'll be talking about, so some of the common questions that we see uh, are that, some people are concerned that am I in the right domain? Nupur, can you change the screen to the common questions? The previous one, yeah. So some people think if they are left behind, they compare themselves with the other domains. These are the common questions. You can also see some struggle with their work-life balance, and they think of shifting their domain or shifting their company to work that out. Some of them do not feel satisfied in the startup culture, and they want to move to an MNC or vice versa. So there are loads of common questions that people come up with, and those questions are actually the triggering points where you should start thinking about your growth curve very consciously. So now coming to the next slide, Nupur, in setting your own curve. So mostly we see that, we see others, what they are doing and where they came from, but probably we miss out a lot on their journeys. All of the journeys are unique to the individuals. They have their own challenges, they have their own opportunities, their own highs and lows that they go through, and then come to the stage that you just see. You don't get to see behind the curtains. So it's unfair to compare your journey with the others' journeys. It's very important that instead of comparison, you build your soft skills. Of course, I am assuming that all of you work on your hard skills a lot, but rather build on some of the soft skills and keep giving yourselves reminders that you should be bold. Don't think that it is very difficult to switch. Don't think that it's very difficult to switch your goal or job or even domain, anything. Then it is okay to take calculated risks. It's fine even if you take one step back, but it enables you to go 5 steps further. It's totally fine. Then don't another gentle reminder that keep working hard and smart. So these are some of the things that you might be looking at your peers, comparing yourselves, but it's so important that you keep moving forward on your own growth curve. Next, how do we start building our growth curve? So now it's very important that we visualize ourselves, how to look years ahead. This is an important activity which I will also help you by the end of the presentation. I will tell you how to do it. So visualize how you see yourself years ahead and make a decision. Even making a decision is a good starting point that you decide to work towards it. So visualizing means that do you see yourself doing probably a stable job, or maybe do you see yourself being very successful and a pioneer in your domain? How do you visualize yourself? And then it's very important that you get into a SWOT analysis of yourself, where you think of what are my strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats internally, as well as getting from the factors around you. So important to also differentiate between strengths and opportunities. So strengths are something that you own, but opportunities are something that external factors might be impacting you. Similar with weaknesses and threats. And now what you should do with this SWOT analysis. With this SWOT analysis, once you have it on a paper, once you draw that diagram of a typical SWOT analysis, you actually have to utilize your strength areas. So use them to put together a growth journey, and then also make sure that you keep working on your weaknesses in the long term. Next is think critically. So very important that, you know, to achieve the same goal, like I mentioned that in step 1 you visualize yourself, but it is also important to understand that there is not only one path to get to that visualization, to actually achieve it. There could be multiple ways. There could be different ways to achieve that same thing and get to that point. So calibrate how, you know, every choice would impact you, how much time each could take, how much energy of you each could take. So it's very important to think those. And now I'll also illustrate an example that I have witnessed some of the people that I've spoken with. So a friend of mine, she came up to me and she told me that, you know, she had been preparing for UPSC for more than over 4 years now, and she was kind of directionless what to do now, because there was just one attempt left for her and she didn't know what to do. Now simply if we see how, you know, how she took this journey, these step 1 2 3. First one was that I asked her to visualize herself. How does she see herself, you know, growing into a good human? She wanted to have a stable life. That's what she answered. You know, that is what she came up with, that she wanted to have a very stable life, have a nice work life balance. Also she wants to contribute around to the society in the ways that, you know, that probably a normal person wouldn't. So probably going a mile ahead. That's what she was trying with UPSC, to create an impact around herself as an administrator of a certain a certain geography. Then next step that she did was doing a SWOT analysis. So again, you know, she went into her strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. For example, in strengths, she recognized that she's really good at aptitude, she's really good at being street smart, she also has business skills. And then in weaknesses, she knew that she's not very good at taking exams. That's that's what she experienced. And then in opportunities, she knew that she had a lot of network, very good quality network that she could leverage. And in threats was mostly the time ticking, that was number of chances that she had for UPSC. And also in other words, that she had put in a lot of years already, and she wanted to be very careful with that. So after putting this SWOT onto her paper and thinking more on it, she wanted to utilize her strength areas, and then thinking critically. She thought of various ways that she could achieve that goal. She could visualize herself being that, a good work-life balance person who has her job sorted, who also has her home sorted, everything, and is also working towards something impactful around herself. So there are various ways to work around it. UPSC was one of them. Another one that she found, that she finally settled with, was working with a social business in which there was a small team that she wanted to work, that she got a chance to work with from her network itself. And she's earning well now, she's well settled into that social business, and she is creating an impact around herself. So this is what is important, is that, you set your goals based on how you see yourself, rather than what the flow, where the flow takes you. So that's really, really important. Coming to the next slide. Next is balancing your personal, professional, and salary goals. So if you see this Venn diagram, yeah, if you see this Venn diagram, personal goals are something that are related to your lifestyle, that are related to what you as an individual see, how your life grows outside of work. Then our salary goals. Then salary is like measuring the value that you give, not just the package that you get, but actually what value you are giving, and measuring in that ways. Next is professional goals, the one that we've been discussing all along. They are always unique to yourself. Don't compare it with others. That's the important message here. And now combining all of these, now it might seem very very theoretical to see that there's this Venn diagram and I'm supposed to look at all of these. You might have even seen the Ikigai Venn diagram with four aspects to be balanced. Similar to that, it's important that we find our niche on this, and we set very clear goals for ourselves in each of them. For example, I can give you some of the examples that I have set for myself. That in personal goals, I know that I have to work on my mental health, my physical health, and also probably travel a lot. So these are some of my personal goals that I want to achieve. Salary goals could be that, if I'm into freelancing, I set a certain value that I'm going to earn this much in this year, or could be that I have to reach to this particular package. So those could be salary goals, and not to be mixed with the professional goals. Could be that you are advancing in your profession, but you are not advancing in your salary, or could be vice versa, that you're stepping up in your salary, but your professional growth has stagnated. Could happen that way as well. So it's very important that you consciously pick what goal you're actively working on. So all of them can go passively, that some of the goals that you've set, they are going in the background, but it's very important that you focus on some of the goals actively. I can give you again my example, that currently I know that I am working on my personal goals. I am not working on my salary goals, and I'm also halted on my professional goals. I'm only working on the personal goals right now. So again, it's important that you just pick two of them at a certain point in time, or one, and then work actively on that, and make sure that you know what the next step is. For example, now I know that next big thing for me in my life is going to be my professional leap. So I am very well aware of that. Then probably personal life would come at a back seat, and even salary would come there, but professional I'm going to pursue very actively. So this is very important, that you think of it consciously. You think of the goals that you have set for long term, break it down into smaller milestones. So I see the hierarchy as this way, that there are goals that you see across your lifetime, then there are milestones, multiple milestones to achieve to get to that goal, and then there are tasks that are required to reach to the next milestone. So it's very important to draft it all that way. Moving to the next slide. Yeah. So now we have how to actually work towards the expectations that we've set. So I'll spend some time on this particular slide. Again, that it is very important to have a clear goal set. I can also share some of the goals that I have for myself and give you an example from that. So I was earlier into mostly business management, and now I've shifted to operations management more, and most of my steps have been towards it. My big goal is that I probably get into operations in a big MNC and at the top level position. So that's my clear goal. I have it set. Now I then break it down into smaller milestones, or break that big goal down, because it might seem very intimidating for me to get there. And also with limited my resources, as I saw in my SWOT analysis, I have my own threats, I have my own weaknesses also. So taking in those into account, I need to break it down into something more achievable, something that I can measure, and then I start actually tracking it down. So maybe, I usually, what I do is I have this monthly diary that I keep, in which on the in the first 3 days of the month, I usually put down what certain goal I'm working on. For example, these days I'm working on my personal goals. So those personal goals are going to be broken down into milestones. So those milestones that I want to achieve, they should be very clearly set. I just keep it written for myself in my monthly planner. I write those, big 3 sentences down for myself to see every day, that this is where I have to go to. And whatever action I do, they are consciously put in that direction. They shouldn't be, haywire. And yes, opportunities come and go, but it's very important to make a note of what kind of opportunities we are missing consciously, or taking up consciously, if they are complementing my bigger goals. So it's very important to do that. Then again, making it easy and achievable. Then every day I make sure that I measure it. For example, if today I'm giving this presentation, so it is one of the milestones, or if it is one of the things that I did for myself also, because it is adding to my growth also, that it gave me a sense of satisfaction to share my journey with all of you. So it's very important to make it easy, achievable, and trackable. So those progress points can be measured in any metric. It could be how much time you have put into a certain thing, how much effort you have put into a certain thing, what you have got out of it as an output. So super important to make those very measurable. Then you might have seen, I'm not sure, maybe you can drop a yes or thumbs up if you have seen this curve previous in your experience. It's actually from project management. So this is an S curve that you see here in the graph. So this S curve, actually, I like to put this S curve into my personal goal setting as well, personal, professional, as well as salary when it comes to that. That it's very important that we see it. Yeah, great, good to know that you have seen this. So this is what I also use for my own tracking. So this S curve denotes that how much how much we have stepped up in our growth as compared with the time that is passing by. So when you start with any new skill, for example, I started first with business operations. I had no clue about it. So in the beginning, everything would be new to me. Everything that I get to know about it is adding to my knowledge. So it will be accelerating very quickly for in the beginning. Then when I know things, when I know the facts, when I know most of the things in depth, then probably after a certain point in time a plateau will come where there will be, even after putting in a lot of time towards it, still I will only be able to get a certain output in my growth. Then maybe the growth will only be limited to certain case or related scenarios. For example, again, I can share an example of business operations. So in the beginning, it was very new to know what is a CMS, how do we tackle, what are follow-ups, why do we get to people, what is the best way to do it. So much new, overwhelming learning in the beginning it came with. But after a certain point in time, there were few clients which were very unique. So that then the plateau comes, and then it comes to kind of a stagnation. Then consciously it is time for us to loop in another new skill, and it has to contribute in the certain goal that we've set for ourselves. It has to be in that direction. That is the rule of following the S curve. So if you can see in the small graph here on the right side, that explains you that how it goes to a certain plateau. Then it is time that you are confident that my previous skill, I have done well at it, I have absorbed it very nicely, I'm also proceeding forward in that particular skill. And now it's time that I pick up something related, and pick up something that is going to also contribute to my overall goal. I can give again my example. I have done business operations. Then I got into product operations. I did that. Now I'm going to get into kind of data science, a bit into data science. So right now I'm learning some visualization tools. So it's very it came naturally to me that this is the next step that I have to do. I can see also opportunities for myself around me that I can learn that, and then I step in and get into that loop. So this is an example of how you can clearly see yourself also growing. It will give you loads of confidence when you actually see, go back to your monthly calendars and see that, wow, I really achieved this. I really measured it, and I went ahead with this certain skill, and I went there, and then only I'm able to, pull up my base. I am able to shift my base level now. So you don't start from the bottom again. You have stepped up and you start from there, because now you're doing it all consciously. So this is very important. Coming to now the next slide, a bit on my story. So can anyone recognize and put the names of both these ladies in the chat box? If you can recognize them, a small activity to also see if everyone is active. Yeah, Priyank, yes, good one. Dots connecting. Anyone else? Yes, it's Sheryl Sandberg on the right. Correct. On the left, can anyone identify this lady? Oh wow, there is a right answer. Very nice. Marie Curie. Yes, correct. Correct. Very nice. So it might surprise you all that I did my master's in physics, and I don't have any tech experience. I don't have any IT, studies that I've done. I have not done an MBA. I have not done a BTech. I've done my master's in physics. So I was on the path of going for a PhD in physics, and now my goals have shifted to being kind of a CEO of a big company, just like Sheryl Sandberg. So this is how vastly our goals could shift, and this is how vastly, we could move consciously our direction. And now I'm very confident that I am on that growth curve. Again, this is not boasting. This is just assertion that yes, I am on that path, because I know that I've consciously taken all my decisions to be there, to be at that position which I see myself in. So yes, Amar, very nice answer. Only person with a double Nobel Prize. Correct. So this is how my goals shifted. This is how I thought that I could shift my entire not only goal but all my daily activities, from learning and giving exams into sciences. I shifted my entire focus towards being a pro in operations and in product and in IT sector. So daily, again, in the beginning, I was learning loads. I was just trying to get to know about what is a business, what is an organization, what is IT, why is IT booming so much, what is it actually adding to the world. So this is how I got into it, and that was just literally less than 6 years ago, that I had zero idea about IT. And right now, I am handling the global product ops of Labster, which is a huge company in which even the Google team members have funded in. So wonderful journey for me as well, and that's why I wanted to share it with you all. You can put in your questions if you want to ask anything related to the goal shifting or my background. So this is also another thing I wanted to share. Next is a very important thing and a very nice slide that I've put in from all of my experience that I have done till now. So what have been my hacks? All of these are my hacks which I have followed. I can give you examples to each of these, and I can, with full surety, I can tell you that these are going to work if you pick even a couple of these. So LinkedIn is way more powerful than you think. I'm not sure how many of you use it actively, but LinkedIn is really powerful. Not only connect with people, but also use it like your portfolio or resume or your bio, just to show who you are. So it is okay to even express on LinkedIn, because your inner thoughts also come out and you come up as a person, who knows what they're thinking and where they're going. So use LinkedIn to the fullest. And my experience with LinkedIn, in the beginning, when I was in my masters, I just got to know about this platform. It wasn't really a big platform back then, but I started using it. I put all of my details there, started talking to people. I had, again, no clue about IT, no clue about organizations or businesses. All people around me, what they were doing was that they were getting into teaching jobs or going for PhDs. It was very difficult for me to not have anyone in the family to guide me, because no one was into private jobs and no one was into even businesses and those private business stuff. So LinkedIn helped me out. I put myself out there and put a little bit of my bio, which was almost empty back then because I did not do much activities in my masters. But I started connecting a lot with the people, try to know about what jobs require. What, for example, a job, say in Zomato, what would an operations manager require there? So I started building on those skills when I spoke with people, and people are so welcoming and so warm. If you reach out to them with clarity, with what you want, they will answer back and they will help you. So use LinkedIn to the fullest potential, connect with people, put everything that you've done, your achievements over there, and use it to the fullest. So this is one of the hacks that helped me. I'm not sure if it's a hack, because everyone tells you to go on LinkedIn and stay active there. But yes, again, a tip, a reminder that keep your LinkedIn up to date, keep connecting with people every week. Try to reach out to at least 5-7 new people, talk to them, or even if people are reaching out to you for help, even answer those people, because you'll also feel confident and you'll know what kind of questions people struggle with. So it's very important to stay in touch with people in your community. Next is, if you're thinking of switching, we've talked a bit about switching, why you should do it, when you should do it. So again, if it contributes to your overall goal, if it contributes to the visualization that you have for yourself, if it contributes to that, then go ahead and take that bold decision and take the switch. But how to really do it? So if you want to take the switch, and you should talk to the people who are already working in that domain that you want to get into. For example, when I was shifting from IT services to product, I spoke with a lot of people in product. I wanted to understand what the organization is like, what is the work culture like, or how is it different from projects. How are products and projects different? Why is there a different meaning in the terminology? So those things you get to know when you talk to the people who are doing hands-on stuff that you want to do. So I spoke with a lot of people into operations and got to know what they daily work on, how do they set their goals, how do they do the teamwork. So those things you get to know when you speak with people. So speak with those people and even make your mentor, so you can update your progress on a daily level to them, if you get on good terms with them. So that's another one. Again, another tip, another hack for switch is to take up projects. Could be, not go for a job switch, because that could be too sudden for you also. You might have liabilities on you. So instead, you could take a gradual switch by taking up some projects in the thing that you want to get into. take some volunteering projects, take some pro bono projects, and after you've done your theoretical learning from some courses or from some videos or wherever learning material, blogs and stuff, showcase into your profile with the backing of few projects and pro bono stuff. So you don't have to again, don't combine your salary expectations with your professional goals. Try to break that down again. All right. So once you're working on your professional goals, make sure that you take up some projects, probably hold back a bit on your salary. Don't be greedy that time. Take some projects for just your experience and to showcase your learning. And then you can also put it on your bio proudly and then tell that you have actually learned it by doing. So this is one of the things. Next is another, probably some of you might find it funny that if you are focusing on your learning, wrap it into self-led internship. So make it an internship for yourself. It will give you discipline. It will give you a structure of your own learning. Again, an example of how I was doing, I recently shifted into education edtech sector. I was mostly working into IT services and products, but then I wanted to focus only on edtech because I find that sector very impactful, and I want to invest loads of my years ahead into that. So when I was shifting into it, it was of course very difficult to. There are no formal courses. I did not want to go for an MBA or MS just to learn that. What I did was I put together like a 2-month program for myself in which I was supposed to do 2 to 3 MOOCs, and then I was supposed to talk to a lot of people. I got into some projects and took them for kind of on a pro bono basis where I was helping more. I was putting in and giving in more, but I wasn't earning as much because of course I did not have that bio backing me up. So I took that up as an opportunity. I used it, worked on it for a few months, and then it turned out to be something, one of the most impressive things in my bio actually till date. So I took up a project that's called Girls into Technology, and we empowered over 10,000 girls with tech education in a matter of few months. So I put together a plan, a go-to-market plan, how it would all function, like what kind of pedagogy should go in, how we should target the schools, how we should speak with them. So I put it all together. I made a small team, and then I went ahead, put all of the learnings that I had taken from my courses, from the MOOCs, and then put it into actual practice. Then saw what kind of challenges come up on ground when you start working. So when we put everything together, put it as an internship, and proudly tell people also that you are, if they ask you what you're doing, I would tell them that I'm doing an internship. I'm doing my own internship, a tech internship these days. So that's what I did. And a final one is that find your mentor. So all of you might not have someone in your families or your close friend circles who could be your potential mentors, but it's very important to have some people in your life which you can speak with about your upcoming decisions, or some of the probably some decisions that you're struggling with, or some of the goal guidelines that you want to talk about. So speak frequently with them, find them. Even if you don't have them in your close circle, go on LinkedIn, go on some platforms that are really good, that you can find them there, out there, and speak with them, get some mentoring, and then make sure that you update them, learn from them. Of course, they don't make the decisions for you, but they help you validate those decisions. So make sure that you have someone in your life whom you can trust with your personal and professional decisions. So this is again one of the important hacks that you should take care of. And now there's loads of time left, but we can now jump to Q&A. If we have any questions till now, we can take those.
Yes, Shreya, I'll read out the questions for you.
Sure.
And yeah, here is a one question. Suresh Rao asks, what are 3 best ways of self-learning?
All right, great question. I can talk loads on it because I'm now into education sector. So I can talk loads on learning. So very important thing is just like professional curve, learning is also very personal to you, how you really pick up. So the mode of learning that you prefer, for example, some people are very good with podcasts, some people don't prefer audio learning, they want to see something visually, so they go for YouTube videos or MOOCs. And then some people don't understand even with that, or they understand either by reading or by actually doing. So first pick your mode of learning, pick up what you're good with. You should know those, that is again, your strength and weakness area. If you're bad at audio, I know that I'm very bad at being very disciplined with the podcasts. I've just left. I've tried it many times and left it. So what you should do is pick your best modes, for example, audio and doing. That helps you. So go ahead with some podcasts or go ahead with some MOOCs, just play it on there and listen to it. And then once you're done with it, then try with the hands-on experience. But I would again recommend that hands-on experience is a must do, because it not only gives you confidence, it not only tells you what mistakes you can make on ground, but it also adds to your bio. So if you're doing something, if you're working even on your own project, you make something for yourself. For example, if I wasn't able to hunt down that edtech project, I probably would have started something by myself, some very small activity for myself that I would just start doing. So make sure that you're doing something hands-on, which is also adding to your bio. So that is one of the self-learning ways.
Great, great. And we have one more question from Amar. How did you switch from pure science to IT? As I get many students, however, I don't know how to guide them.
Very tough one. I also get a lot of those queries because I am from sciences. My network is also a lot into sciences, so people keep coming and asking. So from sciences, you by that time you have developed really good theoretical skills, but science students, sad to say that especially with even the best institutes in India, they might not even have a bit of idea about how the world works, how money works, how organizations work. It's very important to first bridge that gap, give all of that actual real world knowledge to them. They should observe a lot. They should then pick up what they want to do. For example, if they think that finance is their thing, probably after learning a lot they think that finance is their thing, then they should get into that direction. Or maybe they think that IT, for example, they are very super sure that computers is their thing, then probably they need to understand where computer applications really, the coding applications really go, which language you should learn accordingly, where you should get started, what kind of organization do you want to work for. So those decisions should come from the students itself. They should not be directed from us as mentors. They should come, the answers should come from them. The questions should be asked by you as a mentor. So give them all the knowledge that they can get about the real world. Sad again, that they don't have a connection with the real world. They are just into books and into their practicals, but they don't know about what's happening outside. So very important to give that picture, give them questions, give them activity to so that they learn about themselves and then they make those conscious decisions again. And
Great.
another important tip for IT one is that they should push themselves to go for even some internships that they get into IT. So they should just go ahead with it instead of waiting for a job and applying really hard everywhere. Whatever internship they get, they should just go ahead, probably go for 2-3 months, get that experience, and then step up from there. So at least begin the journey. Yeah.
Yes. And we have 9 minutes in hand, and we have two more questions. One is from Dipanshu. He says, how to ascertain if one have fully grasped the knowledge or acquired the skill set?
Interesting question again. So even if we talk about Agile, that also came up just in the recent years, as you might have seen. So people keep learning and things keep evolving around you. So don't aim for perfection. This is also one of the mistakes that I did in my early career. Don't wait for that perfection point. Make sure that you get started with the knowledge that you need, and then case by case, scenario by scenario, keep learning. Make sure that you're open to learning from your mistakes and from others mistakes. Make that keep your observation mode always on. So that's what I have to say on this.
Yes. And we have one more question that is from Prashant. Can you please share one of the biggest challenges you faced in your career growth?
Yes, I can share that. I have actually two challenges to share. One is my background. I don't have BTech and MBA, so it's very difficult when I'm applying to places or if I'm giving my bio. So it's, you know, you don't fit here. So I'm just excluded sometimes. So that is one of the things that I faced. Another one is my age. If I share that I have the certain years of experience and I'm doing this thing, so they would judge that, you know, this is too early. Probably she doesn't have that much experience that she can take up the job, so they wouldn't be much confident. So it's very important, you know, that for me I have to show out a lot more than probably someone elder to me would have to. So that's, these are the two challenges that I faced.
Yeah. And also we have one more question from Amit. How could we transit from core IT profile to a business one? Business one.
Yeah, from core ITs, I'm assuming that, for example, someone is already into computer sciences or probably into coding or, you know, these kind of profiles, and then they want to switch to either business analyst profile or they want to switch to marketing profile, something like that. So very important again to first make sure that you are super sure of this decision. It's actually fitting your long-term goals. It's very important to be sure about that. Then once we decide to transit, then it's going, mostly first step should be that you speak with people who are already doing that. So in your own company, go to the marketing team, go to the business team, speak with them, ask them what they do on a daily basis, not of course, you know, the sensitive or confidential details, but try to understand what this profile is really about. Then once you get to know what kind of hard skills you need for it, go for those hard skills. For example, in business profile, you should know how to make for example, business requirement documents. You should know how to make UMLs. Those things you should acquire quickly, and you know, quickly get those hard skills done, and that theoretical knowledge acquired, and then go hands on. Probably try to make yourself a business requirement document for some hypothetical idea that you have. Think of that way, you know. Then something that you have now, you know what you are confident about, where your weaknesses are. Probably you're not able to be think from a business perspective. That is one of the problems that people usually face when they switch from IT to business, that they are unable to think from that business perspective. Again, you know, those technical issues, they creep in, that what will happen if the client asks us to iterate. Our team is not going to work on that. So those kind of questions, you have to be, you know, make sure that you get that thought process also embedded in yourselves when you're switching to the business profile. Because yes, you might have to promise a lot of things to your clients, which might be loads of struggles for the IT team. So make sure that you are learning those. And first, again, you know, just recapping my answer, first speak with the people in your own company or some other people you might know in that domain. Try to understand what they do, what kind of hard skills are required, what kind of soft skills are required which you might not have. Work on those, and then get some hands-on projects for yourself. So this is again the journey to do it.
Great, great. And we have 5 more minutes. We have 2 more questions. Shreya,
Yeah.
how are you using LinkedIn effectively for your goals? As Amar is asking.
Sure. So Amar, what I usually do is that I make sure that my profile is up to date. That's very important. It also shows what I'm currently working in and what my passion is, so that similar people reach out to me or I reach out to them. If I reach out to them, they should know that, yeah, you know, she's in the similar domain. So it's very important to keep your profile updated. Put all of your achievements there. Whatever you're working on, that should be up there. Then next is I make sure to connect with at least few new people, like 5 to 7 new people, that every week. That activity I do, and that is again, you know, a conscious thing that I do. For example, if I am wanting to learn about operations, I would reach out to people who are in that. I would probably just draft a short message that, hey, this is Shreya, I'm working currently in this. Really excited to see your profile and learn more about how you are handling operations at your company. So I'll just drop that message, and they would accept. And people, again, I'm telling you, they are really warm, they are really nice, and they will get back to you with some of the answers. Then the next one is I also interact with my connections a bit, every second week or so. I would say I'm a bit lazy there, but again, I try to at least do it once in 2 weeks, that I post something that I'm working on or something that has been on my mind. So I share that with my connections and also get some comments or some polls or something, whatever the LinkedIn features have been added. So I use those nicely and make sure that I'm connected with the people that are officially my connections on LinkedIn. They're actually my connections. So yeah.
That's great. And we have one more question. One tip to remember once the world opens up after the pandemic for the professionals. Like one tip for the professionals.
So I think pandemic has brought in a lot of, I would say, a change, a drift in how we work. So it's very important that once we get back, it's so important to connect with people in person, and of course taking care of the precautions and taking all the precautions. But yes, it's important to catch up. It's important to have those social connections again revived. So it's super important to do that. And these days, the jobs are remote. That I can give my example. I've been working with Labster for over a year. I haven't met a single person from the team in person till now because the office is not in India. So I make it a point that I have to meet all of them in person, even if I have to travel. So this is one of the things that I have I'm also looking forward to in when the pandemic gets over, that reviving those connections with people in person.
Yeah, great. That's great. And we are getting a lot of appreciation from the participants. And one more, yeah, Shreya, you are getting appreciation from the participants. That's it. We don't like any questions participants can post in the chat box. We have 2 more minutes.
And superb to see all of you participated a lot, and hope that my journey, which has been very unconventional, it gave you confidence that if one person can shift from sciences to business and also to product and operations in a matter of less than 5 to 6 years, then surely you can also make that switch. If that has been on your mind for years, then please go ahead and do it. If you think it's going to contribute to your big goal, then please go ahead and do it. So, and also all of you are, I am assuming that you are already into your careers. So it is a very noble thing to mentor other people. So if you find youngsters around you who are struggling with certain things, please go ahead and mentor people. They require that guidance. They require the perspective that we might not have had in our previous years. So go ahead and do that. That's again an important tip after the pandemic that you can do.
Yes.
So yeah, from Amar, I have a question. So not an MBA for sure. I think whatever I could have learned from an MBA, I've already got that experience in terms of my career growth. Maybe for exposure, I would go for some of my future studies in the coming years. But again, if it contributes to my bigger goals, for example, if I want to go ahead and do something in education sector, probably I would do that. It has to suit my career goals, and it has to be a medium and not my goal. Again, education is not a goal, it's a medium. So yeah.
All right. We are right on time. And thank you, Shreya, for giving wonderful insight on this topic. And I would take one point, that is we should be open to learn in
Yes.
order to have a growth. Yeah, that's my key takeaway from this session. And
Awesome.
thank you for the
Thank you so
wonderful
much.
session, Shreya.